Hey, Eddie. Hey, Eddie. Hey, don't you like have some plans or something here? I think you're supposed to do something right now. I believe you're supposed to go to work. Wait. Hold on. Is that my fucking fidget spinner, dude?
Can you hear that?
Is that my fucking fidget spinner? God damn it. You took that shit away from me last week. You chastised me ad nauseum about the fucking fidget spinner. You took it for an entire segment.
Love this thing.
That is my fidget spinner.
So
that is mine.
awesome.
That's my personal fidget spinner.
Where did you get this thing? It's like the best invention of all time.
You can get it any goddamn where. Give me my fucking fidget spinner back.
God damn
Let's
it.
fucking go to work. Let's
All
fucking...
right.
All right.
Should I hit him with this goddamn thing one time?
You should probably do it, dude.
Episode number 14. It's time to go to work. Jerk of All Trades podcast. What is up, my friends?
Well, you know what? Aside from the fact that Eddie is addicted like a motherfucking fiend
I'm
to
obsessed
with the goddamn fidget spinner, we have an absolutely amazing show for you guys. As always, we've got a lot of fun stuff. We're going to be talking about Kanye West and Kim Kardashian and some motherfucking puppets. We're talking about Amazon is buying Whole Foods. We're going to be talking about how Verizon is hell-bent on buying really outdated companies. Apple shit. We're going to be talking about drinking, which is something very fitting to the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Depression. Some guy wants to build a fucking DMT machine.
A lot of brain talk this week.
And you know what?
DMT, the Y brain.
Yeah. And another thing, too, we're doing the Jerk of All Trades podcast, top 5 countdown of the Black Mirror episodes,
yes.
which is...
This is almost like a special episode where we're going to be talking about our 5 favorite episodes each from the Netflix, what was it called?
Well, it actually was not initially on Netflix. It was actually
it wasn't?
No, it was actually a British show. I believe it was on either Channel 4 or BBC.
Oh, really? Interesting. I was wondering why everybody was fucking British.
So then Netflix actually had picked it up. The first 2 seasons, it did really well. And so then they basically got them to do a 3rd season exclusively for Netflix. So it was not originally a Netflix show. It was a British show, and it was brought over here. But it's awesome.
Spoiler alert, this show is awesome.
It's the bee's fucking knees. It's
fucking loved
awesome.
it, man.
It's awesome. So just like this week's episode is fucking awesome.
Just like every week of the Jerk of All Trades podcast.
Every week is fucking amazing, and this week is no different.
And,
so
you get our exclusive Jerk of All Trades universal call out every week.
Yes.
This week we have puppets for you.
Motherfucking puppets. But before we go into the puppets thing, I wanted to. All right. So.
Oh shit! I skipped over that.
The universal call out is basically synchronicity at work, and the fact that everything in the world is all made up of the same shit. And so we basically test that theory by throwing all of these, subjects out into the world and seeing what happens. And so aside from this particular aspect in doing on the podcast, I do this in my normal life. I talk, I pay attention to things that happen in my life, and then I pay attention to other things that happen, and if something is important enough, it kind of connects through, and these really, really weird experiences happen. And so I talked about the thing with the cable guy from last week that was really fucking weird, and I had a weird one that happened this past week. I wanted to talk about it. So real quick. So last week, Eddie and I we were talking. What were we talking about at this point when we did the
accordions?
We're talking about the accordions with the camera.
Oh
thing?
No, the cable guy.
Yeah. We were talking about that. Where was this dropped? I don't even remember exactly where you had dropped.
Oh, the Holy Mountain. I don't remember. Yeah. Last week was like beer episode 2.3.
Yeah. It was pretty rowdy. But anyway, at some point, Eddie had brought
cameraman zoom it.
Yeah. So I don't remember what I said, but I did some sort of accent, and then Eddie basically did that. And so I didn't think anything of it as I was listening to the podcast, or as we were recording the podcast. And later on, I was re-listening to the podcast the next day, and I heard that, and I was like, wait a minute. Like, I've talked to some. My favorite movie of all time is The Holy Mountain. It's by Alejandro Jodorowsky. It's from 1973. It's like the ultimate midnight movie. It is just an absolute brain fuck. It is crazy, crazy, crazy. If you've never seen it, look it up. It is just littered with like psychedelic imagery, crazy fucking frogs dressed up like Templars. There's a Jesus character as the main character, and there's like 100, probably like 500 fucking giant Jesus fucking paper mache things that he ends up in a room with. It's a brain fuck for like 2 fucking hours. It's littered with like Buddhism and tarot and astrology and all this different shit. It really fucking changed my life, and it changed my life so much that I actually have a fucking half sleeve tattoo of this movie. It really, really changed my life. Alejandro Jodorowsky, the director, changed my life and got me really interested in getting into the occult and Buddhism and tarot and all this different stuff. And so the movie was really, really, really important to me. So anyway, so I've kind of sold Eddie on this movie, and it's a little bit outside of Eddie's wheelhouse, I think. But so I knew very damn good and well that Eddie had never watched this movie before. And so without giving away too much, and honestly, even with telling you this, it doesn't really ruin the movie because it's not really the whole concept of the movie. But essentially, you have all these characters who basically are represented by different tarot cards and different planets in astrology. And they are all basically trying to ascend this mountain with the help of the alchemist, who is played by Alejandro Jodorowsky, the director. And the whole concept is there's all this metaphor and stuff about basically like stripping away all of these different aspects of yourself so you can reach enlightenment on the top of this mountain where there's supposed to be these gods that are going to basically tell them what life is about. And so they get up to the top of the mountain at the end of the movie, and they're all sitting at this table, and the alchemist is basically, he's talking to them, and he basically says, there are no gods here, and that like he talks about the illusion of life and reality and how you are basically watching a movie of your own life through your own eyes, and to basically strip that away. And he, at one of the very last lines in the movie, he says, "Cameraman, zoom back." And the camera actually pulls back in the movie, and you see that they're on a set, and you see the boom mics, and you see just everything on the setup of the movie. And it's just basically meant to like impact you and to show you that like life is an illusion and it's a movie. And if you are so stuck in that, you're like missing what life can be, and you're missing that you are controlling your life and that you have that ultimate power to create your reality. And so I thought it was just fucking nuts. And so actually, this is the second week in a row that I actually had to pull over, and I had to call Eddie and ask him, where the fuck did that come from? And apparently it was not from that. It was actually from the Iron Sheik.
You didn't get my Iron Sheik
Sheiky baby. Sheiky baby.
Dude, classic. Not only did he have the best wrestling boots in the business for like the last 500 years,
like a long shot.
Yeah, amazing. He also had the best mic skills,
Sheiky
by
baby.
far.
Yes.
The Iron Sheik you can't fuck with on the mic.
He put you in the camel clutch. He fuck your ass. He make you humble.
He'll break your back.
I'll break your back.
He'll fuck your wife and make you humble.
I'm gonna make you humble. So I
love the Iron Sheik.
So I thought that was really funny that I would hear Eddie say that. I had no idea
it was from a movie, though.
And the wording is slightly different, but it's so goddamn similar that it's just like not coincidental. And so anyway, that is synchronicity at play. That is this world in a nutshell. And Jerk of All Trades podcast, we are changing the world by what we're putting out and the energy that we're putting out. And so with that said, let's talk about the universal call out and motherfucking
there's no better example of that
puppets. Eddie hit him with the puppets thing.
Yeah, there's no better example of us changing the world each and every week than the universal call out. We did it again with puppets, accordions.
We killed it this week.
Yeah, we tried to make it hard for us with accordions. Still knocked out fucking 2 stories. Pulled out some puppets. Not the mankind puppet you pull out of your, your pants there, but
you're a puppet, dude.
Yeah, man, fucking alligator boots.
What the fuck?
The comedy show hosted by Mr. Kanye West.
From what was this? 2007, 2009.
I have no idea.
I think it was 2007, 2009.
But this is where Kim met Kanye.
Yeah,
Kim Kardashian. If you're
dude,
not familiar.
I fucking saw this story and like I I sent
You
Eddie,
couldn't help but laugh.
I sent him this text message with a screen
the
cap.
next day after we recorded our podcast,
I didn't even look it up.
Ray sends me this picture with Kim and Kanye, and it's from the fucking puppet show
with a fucking puppet next to him, dude.
Oh my god,
a fucking Sesame Street ass looking puppet. So yeah, actually, so normally I would actually look up, puppet in the news. I literally didn't have to do that. I was just scrolling through fucking Facebook, and all of a sudden I see. Now I want to say the crazy thing about this too is, so this happened 10 years ago almost. How has no one ever heard about this before? You have Kanye West, one of the biggest fucking hip hop artists and one of the biggest musical artists of the past decade by a long shot. You have Kim Kardashian, one of the biggest asses of the last decade. Famous for getting boned on fucking camera. We talk about Kendall Jenner, her sister. I think they're sisters, right? They have different. Who's famous for unknown reasons. And then this just randomly comes up the day after the podcast. God damn it, dude. We're fucking killing the fucking game with this, dude. It fucking blows my mind.
You know who else is killing the game?
Who?
Fucking Kim Kardashian, man.
Yeah.
She just launched a makeup line yesterday, made 14.4 mil in 10 minutes. Where the fuck are you at, Paris Hilton? Fucking Kim Kardashian is raking in the money. She's milking that sex tape for all it's worth.
She's been milking something.
And she might be milking some other things
She's
too.
milking her fucking udders probably, but.
And
have you seen that ass without Photoshop?
I gotta tell you,
it's not that attractive, but you know what?
I don't care. It don't matter to me. I'm not that selective. But Paris Hilton had a sex tape, and Kim Kardashian had a sex tape, and Kim Kardashian's just killing the game right now.
Yeah.
I mean, Paris Hilton, where are you at? I haven't even heard of Paris Hilton in like fucking 10 years.
Yeah, so let me talk about another thing that I read in this that just fucking was hilarious to me. So I'll read the quote. This is from one of the dudes that actually worked on the show, and he said, "I went to West's house. He had this great ceiling that had sort of a Sistine Chapel type mural painted on it with him on it. I remember thinking that was the ballerest thing I had ever seen in my life. He had a room just filled with clothes, just out of a Macy's warehouse kind of thing." He said, "When I saw American Psycho, I felt like I'm a little bit like that Patrick Bateman character, but without the murders." So Eddie actually had never seen American Psycho. American Psycho is actually one of my absolute favorite movies of all time. I love the book. I think it's an awesome movie, an awesome book. It's a great fucking metaphor and connection between the yuppie culture of the 80s and fucking serial killers. And so it is so funny to me that Kanye West would see this movie or read this book or whatever, however he came about it, and he would find this connection with this character who is so clearly self-absorbed, such a motherfucking psychopath, sociopath, who just repeats things that he heard and thinks that it somehow connects him with other human beings. And I mean, if you know anything about Kanye West, and I know a little bit, not a ton, that's actually very fitting. So
you know what I want to know about Kanye West? What's his favorite cereal? Because you referenced serial killer and Kanye West, so it got me thinking. I wonder if this motherfucker
Fruit Loops
eats cereal. I don't know. We have to ask him.
You think he's like a fucking Cheerios fan?
Kanye West,
you want to be on a podcast?
Yeah. If you ever hear this goddamn shit,
what's your favorite cereal?
What's your favorite cereal? And let us know, and maybe we can
just let the world know. We will have a live taste test of whatever his favorite cereal is.
Yeah.
When it finally comes out into the world, because I really want to know that.
I'm just interested to know, because that's just something that just popped in my brain during the conversation here, and
Here's another crazy thing. So we actually we were initially gonna talk about this movie in the podcast, and it didn't end up happening because Eddie didn't like it quite as much as I did. But one of my favorite fucking movies of the past year was Jordan Peele's Get Out. I thought it was one of the most creative fucking horror movies of the last decade.
Just
honestly,
skip the first 40 minutes because you won't miss anything.
No, you don't do it. Eddie's taste in movies are subpar in comparison to mine.
Bad. The first 40 minutes is bad.
Not. It's actually called character development. But anyway, neither here nor there. But Jordan Peele was actually writer on the pilot of this fucking shitty alligator boots fucking puppet show thing. And he was also simultaneously working on his first screenplay, which would eventually become Get Out. So how fucking bizarre that...
More synchronicity.
Yes. So and then another interesting thing on this as well. West met Kim Kardashian on the set of this, as we talked about, and it was after watching the sex tape with Ray J. And he insisted that she be hired to play his love interest in the show. And the thing says because nothing goes together.
Have you seen the Kim
tapes
Kardashian sex tape?
I had never been on Pornhub before last week, so
I gotta let you know, I downloaded that shit.
I've seen
a while back.
I've seen it.
Yeah, she didn't suck dick all that great.
No,
I mean, either she's not a big Ray J fan, or she just isn't very good at sucking dick.
Well, here's the thing: she's been rich her whole fucking life, and she never really had to be good at it. You know.
Probably
when they talk about how fat chicks suck dick better than other girls, and I say that in the most non-offensive way. The most non-offensive way. I want to make that clear.
Are you saying that because Kim Kardashian has a fat ass now?
She a little bit, but point being, I mean, she still doesn't have to, but she, you know, she's a fucking multi fucking billionaire for. She gets $14 fucking million for her shitty fucking makeup.
In 10 minutes.
She doesn't have to learn how to fucking suck a mad dick. She can do it. She can fucking like. I think of the Chris Rock back in the day about you know the different girls and sucking dick. You know, the girl that likes nothing better than to suck a dick, and the girl who comes up, the one that won't, and then the one that just like licks the head a little bit, and like she's like it's like sour. Like that's. I imagine Kim Kardashian's the sour girl. Like it's so sour. You know, so
Kim Kardashian's got enough money to make you suck your own dick.
Like that was probably the only time she ever sucked a dick. She just did it for the fucking for the thing.
It reminded me of, remember when Amanda Bynes went crazy a couple years ago? Like she completely went off the rails. Well, Amanda Bynes went fucking nuts on Twitter. She wanted Drake to murder her vagina and fucking all this.
Do you think he did?
I have no idea. But the point is, I can only judge Amanda Bynes' downfall based on her blowjob skills. If she's sucking mad dick, like, you know, fucking 10 out of 10 blowjob style, she's gone fucking crazy. But if she's sucking dick like Kim Kardashian sucks dick, I'm not buying it.
No.
I'm not buying it.
No.
Because, all right, well, you want to go back to the puppets?
Yeah, so let's, I actually hadn't even seen this. I read this little thing. So there was a man dressed up as a blackface female puppet.
Oh, this is crazy. The 29th annual Fremont Solstice Parade in Seattle, Washington. Fucking this guy dressed up as a female puppet wearing nothing but blackface. And he got kicked out for being stupid and racist, but mainly just racist.
Wait, hold on. This is separate from the Kim Kardashian thing?
No, yeah, this is separate.
What? I didn't even hear about it. Oh my God.
I'm telling you, if you dress up as a blackface fucking puppet, Kim Kardashian is not hanging out with you.
Dude, I didn't even realize there was a separate story on this. God damn.
Dude, there's 3 fucking stories.
All right, so then hit him with the third story too.
Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau.
I have to look at the picture as we talk about this. I have to see the adorable fucking picture.
Hugs puppet Gary the Unicorn, who apparently is a big children's show in Canada, But that's your boy, right? Justin Trudeau?
That's your boy, dude. You were calling Trudeau out. But yeah, dude, we love fucking Justin Trudeau. He is like the fucking bizarre world fucking Donald Trump. He is the fucking Prime Minister of Canada, and everybody fucking loves him. And he's progressive as fuck, and he's changing the fucking world. I would love to see fucking Donald Trump hug a goddamn puppet, and I don't think it's going to fucking happen. So, Gary the fucking Unicorn, we love you. Fucking Justin Trudeau, we love you. Fucking puppets, we love you. Universal call out. We want to know what Kanye West's favorite fucking cereal is.
Ah, yes.
This shit is fucking bananas, and we love it.
Never ceases to disappoint. The Universal call out.
No, it does not.
I'm fucking loving it, man.
Yes, me too.
Well, I'm sure we'll be influencing the universe and changing the world one podcast at a time later on in the show. But now for the meat and potatoes.
No meat.
No meat for Ray, but that means more for me.
Yeah.
The big story of the week, Amazon.
Motherfucking Amazon.
World domination for Amazon.
Google government, Amazon government, battling it out. Fucking
Amazon,
the mega powers, not like not Hogan and fucking Savage. Yeah. This is a whole different fucking thing.
Holy shit! Yeah. Amazon just bought Whole Foods to add to the other fucking companies they've been buying out for the last 3 or 4 years. So now they're gonna take over not only online shopping, they're gonna take over fucking brick and mortar shopping.
Yes.
I don't know if this is screaming monopoly to you, but it kind of is screaming it out to me. And if you don't believe
how much is Monopoly on Amazon right now?
They're the boardwalk of fucking Monopoly.
As Eddie is talking, I'm gonna look up how much Monopoly is on Amazon.
Yeah, fucking Google is boardwalk and Amazon is Park Place. I'm telling you right now. But if you don't believe that, fucking they just got the rights to a patent that will not allow shoppers to shop online inside of an Amazon-owned store. So this is getting crazy. You can't price match if you're in the store. You can't look things up online to see if you can get a better deal elsewhere.
Take a guess, by the way. We're gonna go for the Mega Edition,
the deluxe, the Ultra Deluxe,
the Mega Edition
Monopoly. I will say it's $19.99.
Oh no, hold on. Let's go for the Classic Edition. How much is the Classic Edition?
Classic, I'll say
that's Amazon's choice.
$12.99.
$22.15.
For the Classic?
Yeah.
How much is the deluxe?
Free shipping. The Mega Edition is $26.69.
Oh, give me that 26. Give me that deluxe.
I wonder what you're getting at.
Probably I don't know.
More pieces and shit.
More, yeah, like more.
When they got rid of the thimble, do you think you get thimble again?
More DLC.
Yeah. But anyway, sorry, that was a little bit off the fucking thing. But I will tell you, so they don't want people to be able to go onto fucking Wi-Fi and be able to go online and see what the pricing is for these items, which I think is really, really funny because they were one of the ones that allowed you to go in and basically scan a fucking label, and see how much an item was on Amazon and then buy that shit. So I think it's really funny. I think that they can't shut your fucking cell phone service off, but they can do what every other goddamn brick and mortar store does. Make their buildings like impenetrable fucking fortresses where I've got like fucking 8G when I'm like outside. I walk in, instantly no service.
Yeah,
like,
you can't even get a text message. You can't even like, there's no civilization outside of the store.
Can you look up to see how much fucking like a 2x4? No, you cannot fucking do that, okay? Like we have the most impenetrable.
Like, yeah, I can get this game at Best Buy for fucking $10 less. No, you can't.
No, Best Buy does not exist. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You were in the middle of the fucking woods. You're in the middle of the goddamn woods. Hey, can you look it up on your computer? No, sorry, we have Linux.
You have to go out to your car and screenshot it and then bring it back to the store manager inside the store.
That is actually, that happens to me all the time when I go to Hobby Lobby because they always have like a 30% or 40% off coupon, but I always forget to fucking look it up. And then I get in there and I have no goddamn service. And I'm at the register and I'm like already committed. I'm like, fuck, I need to get that fucking coupon, dude. So I'll like, hey, stand in line for me for a second. Like go outside, fucking look the coupon up, come back in. Like it's fucking ridiculous. Just give me the goddamn coupon.
Yeah, it's out there. They should just give it to you.
Just give it to me. But it's a test. It's a test. So
it's kind of silly.
So I mean, is Amazon going to change anything about Whole Foods?
No, nothing's changing.
No.
They're not even planning on laying anybody off, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
And I've actually never been to a Whole Foods.
I actually don't know that I've actually ever been to a Whole Foods either. So
I know they're overpriced and expensive, but kind of up your alley for the non-meat.
What did you say about up my alley?
You know, the vegetarian stuff.
Oh, okay. I thought you were insulting me or something.
No, Whole Foods.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I like to overpay for things.
Well, I don't know. I got some beach house renovations out in Alaska if you want to pay up.
I got some oceanfront property in Arizona.
Oh, okay. So another big story this week. Another big buyout, actually, as well.
Not as big, though.
Has been confirmed. Well, this would have been big about 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Verizon has bought Yahoo and AOL.
So let me ask you a question, Eddie.
What's up?
What's next on the fucking agenda? Fucking Netscape?
Yeah, I know, right?
Fucking,
what the fuck?
Fucking Ask Jeeves. Like, what the fuck are they?
No, fucking Lycos.
You're buying fucking
Who
Lycos?
bought Lycos?
God damn you. God damn you. Fucking Lycos.
I remember Lycos back in the day. Like, I thought it was an actual website. My friend was using it. He's just like, hey, I'm on Lycos. I was like, oh, what's on Lycos? He's like, oh, you can search for stuff.
Literally everything that was available in 1997.
Oh, God damn. Well, fucking... You know, this is kind of a big deal because, like, it's just like how the mighty have fallen. Shopping malls, Walmart's starting to teeter a little bit. Fucking Yahoo and AOL were the original Google and Amazon in the late 1990s.
And they're not anymore.
If you wanted anything to do with online anything, you had to be on AOL or
you had to get one of
be
those
on fucking
discs.
Yahoo.
You get like 60 free hours.
The mailman just brings you this fucking CD.
So fucking
that's
stoked.
got like 3.5 minutes.
Fucking Bret Hart is hanging out with a bunch of kids in a fucking computer lab.
Yeah, you get 3.5 minutes of internet and you're so stoked. It's like, yes, it's free. 3.5 minutes of internet.
I hope I can bust my nut while this fucking this
Oh,
picture
no way.
pixel. Ah!
You're not getting no fucking 4G on that shit.
No, I believe that's like 128. If you're fucking lucky, dude. Dial that shit up. Dial it up. Listen to that fucking. Yeah.
So yeah, that was what AOL and Yahoo was built off of. They never progressed. And here comes a fucking cell phone company that doesn't have nothing to do with what AOL or Yahoo stands for and just wipes them all out.
I believe they bought them for like 250. I believe like 250.
That ain't shit.
That was a joke.
Oh.
$2.50.
Oh, 250.
250.
Oh, yeah, yes.
You get like 250 for that. What? Yeah, that was.
Man, that's pretty cheap.
Yeah. So my other joke on this is so apparently the head of AOL, his name is Tim Armstrong, and I believe that's actually the lead singer of the band Rancid. So it's a little bizarre. I'm sure it's probably not the same guy, but it's not really the best joke I've ever had.
Is Rancid performing like in front of empty arenas and shit now?
Probably.
Yeah. Well, then there is a correlation.
They're a really outdated fucking punk band from the 90s. So just like fucking Yahoo and AOL are outdated tech companies from the 90s. So it actually might be very fitting. So
yeah. Well, Yahoo Sports is now under the influence of Verizon. If Verizon fucks up my fantasy football, I'm coming for your ass. Don't fuck with my Yahoo fantasy. Leave it the way it is.
Eddie has a fantasy about Yahoo.
Yes, indeed.
Don't ruin
and I make a lot of money
ruin
off
his
it.
image. So
I make a lot off that.
So
shit,
they are actually eliminating jobs. Is that correct?
Yes, 2,100 jobs will be eliminated as part of the deal, and that'll raise the unemployment rates when that finally goes through. You can all point your finger at Donald Trump when that happens.
I'm currently pointing my finger at Donald fucking Trump, and I'm currently
you, Trump.
patting Justin Trudeau on the fucking back.
What the fuck?
I am helping him hug a puppet. We're having a 3-way with a puppet. Yeah. Let's fucking do this shit.
Is it a blowjob robot puppet?
It might be. I'll tell you what. I'm having a fucking 3-way this week, and it's with me, Justin Trudeau, and a motherfucking puppet, and it's gonna be sexy as fuck. And I'm pointing my finger at Donald Trump, and I don't like him. So yeah,
sweet.
There it is. No Donald Trump talk this week. Let's. That's my fault. I'm gonna go. We're gonna move on. So, this buffer was actually written by Eddie, so I'll add my little 2 cents. So hopefully Verizon never buys out Apple, and then my little brackets are, which would literally never happen because Apple isn't an antiquated tech company yet. So with what Apple is doing these days, who fucking knows? I will tell you that I gave the middle finger. By the way, I just realized we forgot the middle fucking finger. We don't have a middle finger this week.
I'm fine with it.
We need to come back to that, but I gave the middle finger of the week to Apple a couple weeks back, and I talked about how I bought an iPhone 7, and they had this shitty fucking little dongle thing that you have to use to hook your fucking your aux cable up to, and how it's so likely that you would fucking lose this thing, and then you wouldn't be able to do anything with your fucking phone. And guess what?
What's that?
Within the span of 3 days, I lost that fucking cable, and now I cannot. Now I cannot hook my phone up to anything that's not Bluetooth.
Oh, that sucks. Good job, Apple.
Yeah, thanks, Apple.
Number one company in the world. You can't figure that shit out.
So, and then the continuation of this joke is I actually heard Verizon might be looking to absorb Atari into its portfolio soon. So, Atari is one of the heavy fucking hitters out there. They got the 2600. They're stepping the game up.
The Jaguar.
They got fucking Pong. It's this new fucking fun game where there's like
a little fun fact. Did you know Atari was the first console to come out with a 64-bit console?
The Jaguar. I remember I wanted the fucking Jaguar like a motherfucker.
Pretty cool. No games ever came out for it though.
Yeah. The Jaguar. No, the Jaguar had games out for it.
Like what?
I don't know. There was a fighting game I really wanted to fucking play. Jaguar was actually a system that was out. It had games. But then N64 came out and fucking blew that shit away.
That shit.
Fucking dunzo.
That's another company that's on the rocks.
Yeah.
Nintendo.
So, Eddie, why don't you
Verizon will be buying Nintendo in a couple months.
Yeah.
Just wait.
Not after the fucking Switch, dude. The Switch has been a huge huge success.
Oh, really?
Yes, it's done really well. So,
Cool.
Eddie, why don't you hit him with the Apple and the autonomous vehicle production?
Yeah, this news went a little under the radar. They're Apple. The guys that can't figure out how to let you hook up headphones to their phones.
They can. They just don't want to.
Yeah, they're hoping that you trust them to let a car drive itself for you. So
yeah,
this is confirmed. Apple is making the leap into autonomous vehicle production. It's been confirmed by Tim Cook in a Bloomberg interview. Apple sees it as the mother of all AI projects. Apple has always had plans to expand deeply into the car market. The self-driving car, self-driving truck, self-driving everything is going to be a market value of $7 trillion by the year 2050.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So Apple sees that and they got dollar signs.
Your next thing is, can they do it?
Can they do it?
Yeah. They got money up the fucking wazoo, and I think they're gonna definitely make it happen. I think there's no stopping the fucking autonomous fucking vehicles that are coming for your fucking shit, dude. So
nice.
Yeah, this is a little scary, but I'll take it. So
I'm happy for Apple. It's like it's good for them for progressing and not standing by making iPhones and iPads until the end of time.
That aren't that cool.
See, it's type of shit like that where you get left behind and Amazon buys you the fuck out.
Yeah.
So
Yahoo wasn't making fucking autonomous vehicles. So
fuck no.
They were doing whatever the fuck Yahoo does. So I had another question on this, Eddie.
What's up?
So do you think that this autonomous vehicle will have this really special plug? And you can only get it from Apple. It's going to be really fucking small. It's going to be really fucking easy to lose. And when you go to sleep at night, there's going to be little fucking gnomes who come into your room and they steal that fucking cable, and then you got to pay half the price of the fucking car to replace that. Do you think that's like a likely scenario to happen on this fucking thing? Or
are you insinuating that gnomes took your cord? Were you on DMT last night?
No, this actually happened a couple weeks ago, and it was actually because I was drunk. And I was being nice, and I lent it to someone who needed to plug a phone up to a speaker at a party, and
never got that shit back.
I didn't get it back, but I am getting it back, so it will be back in my possession. But why the fuck should I have to deal with it? Why can't I just have the goddamn aux fucking plug still? What the fuck were they doing? What was the point in getting rid of it?
Stupid. And you pay so much money for that phone, too.
Yeah. So.
Well, if Apple's smart, they'll figure out a way to get that battery cooking. Having to charge that fucking battery.
My battery started getting cooking on my last phone, and then it went black.
Yeah,
so.
And it burnt out. Yeah, if you don't have to recharge it after every 500 miles or 50 miles or however many miles these fucking self-driving cars have to fucking, or electric cars have to fucking charge themselves with. Figure out the battery, Apple, and you'll start making some money.
Make the money. Money, money, money. Money, 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 money.
Break time.
Money. Break time. All right.
You ready for a break, Ray?
Let's do a break. Let's come
hit
back.
That break, and then we'll hit you with
the
this,
the brain section.
A lot of brain talk this week.
A lot of brain talk.
I talked a little shit last week about how my brain was the shit, and I'm a little worried about it now.
You might be. You might be. So
stick with us. We'll be back.
Okay. All right. Bye, guys. There will be a point in the future in which we will have the Jerk of All Trades podcast, sober podcast, and we will announce it to you guys, and we will let you know, and you can hear us in our completely normal forms, but it hasn't happened yet. But anyway, we may need to do that because sadly, drinking is science is starting to tell us that it may be bad for our fucking brains. So this is the most depressing news to come out in recent history. Eddie, hit him with it. Moderate drinking is bad for your brain.
Yeah, it's so bad, man. I didn't want to report on this, but it pertains to so many people.
Yeah.
that I feel like I'm doing humankind a service here slightly with this story, but it's depressing. There's just no way around it. Moderate drinking is bad for you. Heavy drinking's bad for you. It's all bad.
Yeah.
From the University of Oxford and University College London
Oxford.
looked at data which measured how much a
Those
person
some smart
drank
people.
over 30 years. Oh, man, I'm telling you, smarter than us, that's for sure. They're saying...
Yeah, in certain ways. I bet they don't have the suave fucking characteristics that we have. The wit, the charm.
Probably not.
That all come from alcohol.
Absolutely.
They come from my brain that I'm ruining.
Yeah.
So.
They're saying that moderate alcohol consumption increases the risk of cancer, and now studies show it can be damaging to your brain. Heavy chronic drinking is linked to Korsakoff syndrome and alcoholic dementia, which if you haven't heard of Korsakoff syndrome, that's a good thing because you definitely do not want Korsakoff syndrome. You can't function. You'll probably lose your job, and you'll probably not be a regular functioning person the rest of your life. But yeah, they studied people over the course of 30 years, which is crazy. They checked in with them about every 5 years. 550 men and women who were not addicted to alcohol also took cognitive tests periodically and underwent brain scans with MRI.
Probably didn't go as well as the LSD one, though. The cognitive tests, I can't imagine.
Not.
They're not beating people in go and shit. So
no, they're saying that the heaviest drinkers, those drinking 30 units of alcohol per week, were at significantly higher risk of having atrophy in your brain region called the hippocampus. Which is thought of as the most critical area for learning and memory. So,
what is a unit, by the way?
I would say one beer or one mixed drink.
So if you drink like a whole like a handle, is that like 1 unit because it's like in one bottle or?
Yeah. I'd say that's about 4 units, maybe, depending on who's drinking it.
Yeah. Okay.
At least.
Yeah.
But and then they're saying moderate drinkers, those who drink 14 to 21 units a week, were at a 3-fold risk of having atrophy in your brain in the hippocampus. And they're saying that the light drinkers, 7 units or less a week is the way to go. There's no difference between drinking 7 units a week and not drinking any at all. So if you can keep it at around 7, you're doing good.
Yeah.
If you're over 21 and you're around 30, you need to get your shit together because...
If you drink 18 beers in one sitting, you might just end up through your windshield. So
yeah, you might.
We'll leave it at that.
You don't want that Korsakoff syndrome.
No.
Did you say windshield?
I believe I said windshield.
That's crackingly funny.
Well, without the deets, Ray the Jerk has actually broken 2 windshields in the past month.
No deets.
While under the influence of alcoholic beverages. So,
but a lot of broken glass.
One of them is his own windshield, and it has the shape of his body on it. So, and I believe that was probably over 30 units. But god damn it, it was my birthday. Only a couple days ago.
As long as it ain't every day.
As long as it's not all day, every day, then, and you're under 7, like most weeks, then you're okay.
And another thing to keep in mind, too, is heavy drinking also leads to an increased risk of Alzheimer's disease. I don't know too many people with Alzheimer's disease, but...
Wait, what? Where am I?
I don't remember.
That was a pretty poor representation of Alzheimer's disease, but yeah.
Yeah.
I believe we're talking about drinking.
So like I said, I don't know too many people with it, but it wouldn't surprise me if
we're in our mid-30s right now, so if we know a lot of people with Alzheimer's, either we're hanging out with an older crowd or our friends drink a fucking lot.
They're drinking an 18-pack every day.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm fucking depressed now after hearing that shit.
I'm actually very depressed.
But not as depressed as those crazy motherfuckers in South Korea.
They might not all be crazy, but...
These motherfuckers are so crazy, they had to develop a depression headband to keep themselves from killing themselves every single fucking day.
So question for you.
What's up?
Haven't they heard of the fucking Wobot?
Apparently not.
Instead of putting a fucking motherfucking headband on, just fucking talk to the goddamn Wobot.
South Korea isn't as rich as the United States. I'm sure they don't have the funds that we do. So, and I don't know if they make fucking Apple iPhones and iPads in South Korea.
I believe it's in
But
China.
it wouldn't surprise me if
yeah.
they did, because 38 people are killing themselves every day in South Korea. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Jumping
out
of a fucking Apple building, bouncing on a fucking springy ass fucking trampoline back into the fucking building, doing a fucking roll. They put the headband on. They feel better. They don't kill themselves. So yeah.
Yes, they came out now with there's a startup fund for the Y Brain Depression Headband. It's transcranial direct current stimulation.
Transcranial. That sounds fucking intense, dude.
TDCS. It aims to stimulate the frontal lobe, which is where decreased activity is associated with depression.
That's the hippocampus, right?
The frontal lobe?
I think so. Yeah, yeah. Is that not what the hippocampus is?
I'm not.
I believe from the previous story.
Sure.
Yeah.
But they do say alcohol makes you more depressed.
Right.
So.
And this thing helps you. So if you're a fucking, so here's a question.
If you're at 30 units a week, you might need the Y Brain.
Here's a question. If you just put the headband on, does it not negate what you're doing with the alcohol? So you could really just like offset and get back to normal by just wearing the fucking headband.
As long as you don't break your windshield,
the biggest question is, so you know what? Fuck it. I'll tell the fucking story. So about a month ago, I was hanging out with some of my buddies, and I went out to my buddy is in a band, and he's actually was in bands before. He's started a new band. They played out for the first time. I was hanging out with a buddy of mine, a few buddies, and after the show, my buddy was driving back, and he's a fucking madman, and he was driving around like a fucking madman.
Well, he's got a nice car, right?
He's got a fucking sporty ass 2016 something or other, and so I was bracing myself for fearing of my life and also just being drunk and silly against the windshield, and I pushed my foot on the windshield too hard, and I cracked the windshield. And it was big enough where it had to be completely replaced, so that wasn't that cool. So anyway, the other day, it's my birthday this week, and so I'm having a large party at my house, and so I was setting up for that, and I was setting up my backyard, and so I was laying down a patio, so I got a sod cutter, and I cut the fucking soil down, and I got about 3 yards worth of gravel brought to my house, and it was going to rain, and so I had to set this shit, and so I got a fucking wheelbarrow, and I was fucking laying this shit out by myself, and it was hot as fuck out, and I was drinking pretty significantly, and I did not eat, and so I continued to drink, and I think I may have had, let's see, I was actually in the 14 to 21 units area in this one day, and so I just...
Not the week, just the one day.
No, just the one day, and so I just kept going, and started to get late. Finally, my buddy, a couple friends came over, and they were helping me. And so anyway, at this point I was pretty drunk, and I decided that I don't know if I believe in my mind someone bet me that I couldn't do this, but I don't think that was actually the case. I think I bet myself that I could not run and jump over my own vehicle. Not like a fucking like full on jump over the whole thing. Like I was going to jump, like run back and like jump on the fucking trunk and like jump over my vehicle. And so I ran and I jumped onto the fucking trunk, and I jumped up onto the hood, and I went to go fucking jump. I guess I had hoped I was going to make it over the fucking the hood of the car, and that didn't happen because it was raining pretty fucking hard. And so as I tried to make my final leap, I slipped and I flew up into the air, and I imagined it in slow motion, and I would have loved to have seen what it looked like, but I only saw it in my own fucking head, and I crashed and fucking burned and fucking fell straight in my gut. So
can you describe the feeling when you're laying there in the cracked glassness of your fucking windshield?
No, I can't.
How that
because
felt?
I drank 18 beers, so I actually...
You didn't feel any pain?
No, I immediately got up, and I had minor cuts and lacerations all over my arm. My arm was bleeding pretty badly.
God damn it.
My leg, cut my leg. I was actually very lucky that I did not get more hurt from this.
Yeah.
And so later on, I had to, when my girlfriend came home, I had to describe what exactly happened, and I believe the story I came up with was that I was driving and that a skunk jumped out and broke my windshield. And Clearly, that was not the case because you could place my body.
What?
You could place my body upon this thing and tell that was not what happened.
I knew right away that was your fat ass that broke that
Oh,
goddamn wish.
come on, god damn it!
I'm joking.
The big death wish. Thanks for that. So copyright Tom, but it's all good. Yeah.
Oh, man.
So yeah, I gotta buy a new
You
windshield.
asked me, you're like, how do you think this happened? I just took one look at it. It was either you or your girlfriend, so I was hoping it was you.
Yeah. So anyway, so yeah, I should probably scale back on that a little bit. I'm getting a little depressed about my windshield breaking. I'm having a party tomorrow, and I'm hoping to not break a windshield. I'm telling everyone coming to the party, keep your vehicles at least 2 blocks away.
Yeah, no
You'll
shit.
be fucking safe. So, yeah, fucking put a headband on. Don't get fucking depressed anymore. It's kind of weird to me. It's a little bit like electroshock therapy that was kind of fucking scary back in the fucking early to mid 1900s. But I guess it's kind of different. And yeah, I mean, if it helps people and it doesn't hurt people, it doesn't hurt their brain. Yeah, I'm all about it.
That's
let's
what
fucking
it's all
let's fucking
about,
try
man,
it.
helping people.
Yeah. Let's help them out.
Yeah,
So,
clinical trials have shown no side effects. It works alongside a phone app in which patients can log their sleep, exercise, and medical treatment. It's almost like a one of those wristband things that monitors your health. What's that thing called?
The Fitbit.
Yeah, it's like
This
a
is
Fitbit.
It's like the brain
wrapped
Fitbit.
around your head.
Yeah, the brain Fitbit.
And then all that information, the sleep, the medical treatment, exercises get sent to the doctors. So I'm just wondering, like, because it's like a headband that like people wear when they work out and shit.
Yeah.
Like if you get this thing all sweaty and shit, are you gonna get electrocuted or something with this fucking?
I'm gonna guess that was a thought process that came with developing this thing.
I would hope so.
But you never know. You never know. You might see people getting electrocuted by this thing. So, so in remote jungles in this world, there's a way that they deal with depression. And spoiler for you guys, it ain't a headband and it ain't motherfucking Prozac. It's purging the entire contents of your mind and your body and hanging out with motherfucking aliens, hanging out with motherfucking dwarfs, or whatever other shit you want to hang out with. So, Eddie, let's fucking talk about the goddamn dude who wants to build a fucking DMT machine.
Yes.
Because he thinks aliens are fucking real and
He's looking to blast off.
he wants to fucking blast off and he wants everyone else to blast off.
Well,
with
what's
him,
this
so.
guy's name again?
His name
Ardenin or something?
Aaron Berg. Egon fucking, is this the motherfucker from Ghostbusters? God damn it.
I don't know.
Egon Ehrenberg. He's a web
Ehrenberg.
marketer from South Florida. So
Florida stand up.
Florida. So
Crazy asses in Florida.
So yeah, DMT, dimethyltryptamine, it's known as the spirit molecule. It's been speculated to be what your brain releases during REM sleep. So
yes.
It basically sends you into this fucking alternate goddamn universe. It's utilized as ayahuasca in the fucking Amazon with an MAO inhibitor. Normally you do DMT, the crystallized form, and it fucking lasts like 5 minutes. Ayahuasca lasts like 4 goddamn hours, and you fucking just vomit your fucking guts out and shit. And then you just go into this fucking weird fucking spirit realm. And that's what this guy is trying to do. He thinks that he has found life, and he thinks he has found it via DMT, and he wants to develop this machine that's going to basically drip this shit in your fucking veins.
The DMT machine. The DMT drip.
Yes. Yeah,
it's going to meter out DMT to get high and stable amounts into the bloodstream, similar to how anesthesists keep stable concentration of anesthesia in patients during brain surgery. It costs between $5,000 and $20,000 to make. They want to try and talk to some aliens, man. I mean, they just want to get out there.
Can you blame them, man?
No,
can you blame
hell
them?
no, man. I mean, I've never tried DMT, but I'd be down for some of this.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest here. So, via these type of things, I think that we've had much more direct contact with entities than at least what we know of. Via sending fucking people into space. They're referring to this guy as the Neil Armstrong of tripping off DMT.
Yeah.
And I think that's one small step for man and one giant hit for mankind of fucking DMT.
Are you trying to get a hit of that?
Maybe
not.
If you want to send your fucking DMT to the fucking JOAT podcast.
Yes, we accept donations.
We accept donations.
We are open for donations.
Open for donations. But yeah, I think this is obviously at this point it's a pipe dream, no pun intended.
Yeah.
But I think that with what we are seeing with other psychedelic use, what we're seeing with ecstasy, what we're seeing with LSD, what we're seeing with magic mushrooms. Like, we're finally looking at these things in a different light, in a different way, and utilizing them, not just as something that just gets you fucked up, but can maybe give you a different understanding of the world that you live in, the realm that you live in, and maybe a realm you don't even live in, Like, so many people, like, they go to sleep every night and they go into this dream realm where, like, all possibilities can happen, and they just blow it off, or they don't remember, or whatever it may be. And like, dude, your mind is just endless. It's this endless fucking like realm of fucking possibilities and things that can happen, and we're not fully utilizing this, and that these type of substances are allowing people to do that. And I am all fucking for the DMT machine, and I will donate my services to get put on the DMT machine and see what the fuck happens.
So what if it turns out that this is actually a portal to other worlds? Like, you can dial up, like 4 drops of DMT takes you to the aliens, 3 drops takes you to the elves, 2 drops, it only gives you a good buzz, body buzz or whatever the fuck. 5 drops and you get to go to fucking another galaxy.
It is, it's crazy. So, Terrence McKenna, who is a personal hero of mine, one of the people that basically brought psilocybin mushrooms to the United States for the first time, and was on, this basically journey to try to find those. And he came to think that aliens basically brought magic mushrooms and planted magic mushrooms on this planet.
I heard about
as a way for us to communicate with them. And so, I mean, and I'll tell you what, so I have not personally done DMT, but I've done a lot of other psychedelics, and man, at times it's really hard to not get lost. And I'm a very, very scientific based, it's in your head kind of thing, but it's hard not to like see and feel these things and not be overwhelmed and think of them as real. And I think that's one of the things with this that, a lot of the article talks about is that, they kind of really, really hit on the, these people lost their minds, and that they're, that they really think it's real and it's not real. And it's like, I mean, whatever, like, think of it this way. Everything that happens in your reality is real to you, right? But
Sure.
If you looked at that thing from someone else's perspective, it's not as real as you think it is, because their interpretation of it is a lot less real. And so what you think of as reality is only your own view. And so how can you bastardize and say to someone that believes that this is more real than the reality that we're experiencing, how can you say that they're wrong when everything you've ever experienced is only through your own eyes? It's only your own interpretation of reality. So
very true.
So, yeah, this is fucking awesome, and we are donating our services to the DMT machine.
Yeah, we might have to update our support JOAT for that.
Yes, donate to
the DMT machine.
Donate to the JOAT DMT machine.
Screw those fucking monkeys. Let's get that DMT machine
Fuck
going.
the monkeys. I'm not going to fuck a monkey.
Even though they're trying to fuck everybody else.
But, yeah, I want the DMT machine. So,
well, if that wasn't hippie enough for you, there is a couple who has been surviving on nearly no food and instead the energy of the universe.
The energy of the fucking universe.
Let's get our hippie on in this motherfucker. Are these guys hippie hipsters or what?
They're actually not hippie hipsters. They're actually breatharians. I spent a little bit of time trying to find out what the fuck a breatharian is, and everything linked back to this, so I'm not sure if this article basically just made up this shit or if they made up this shit.
Fake news!
But yeah, it's fucking bizarre, man. It's from the New York Post, so I mean,
you never know.
It might be fake, but so they're mom and dad of 2, and they've barely eaten for 9 years, and instead they live off the universe's energy. So, and you know what? I've said it before, and I will say it again. Everything is energy. Like, everything in this world is energy. Matter is energy. That is the world. The world is mathematics. It's energy. Energy is not destroyed. I mean, I could talk about it ad fucking nauseum, but at the same time, you are existing in a world in which you are a human being. You are experiencing this world. You are conscious of this world as a human being, and you have certain functions of your physical body that are necessary for you to exist. And one of those things is you need energy, and you need it via satiation from food, food of this earth. You need water, and if you don't have it, you're going to fucking die, and the energy of the earth is not going to satiate you. And I mean, you can basically starve to death, and I think that they're, one of the things in the article that they say, for 3 years, he said, I didn't eat anything at all, and now I only eat occasionally if we're in a social situation or if I simply want to taste a fruit. So, I mean, let's be honest here. This motherfucker was probably hiding fucking ho-hos on the side. And like, no, I swear, honey, I haven't eaten anything at all. Like, dude, that's a motherfucking cupcake right there, dude. Like, I can see that shit.
I see them Swiss rolls.
Yeah, like, what the fuck? Like, all right. So, I mean, I totally and fully believe that these people were not eating much of anything. But, I mean, my big thing is, let's put these motherfuckers on Big Brother. Like, yeah. Let's put them on fucking Big Brother, and not like Big Brother, like, you know, like fucking 1984, but like motherfucking
CBS.
Fucking CBS,
with
fucking
Julie
Big Brother.
Chen.
And I want to see these motherfuckers not eat for 3 years, and let's see what happens.
Absolutely.
There has never
been... they're going to claim they can't get the energy from that.
Right, because they're
place.
On TV or whatever. But there has never been a proven case of anyone ever not eating for 3 years and surviving. There's been a bunch of bullshit cases about it. And I'm sorry, it didn't happen. Did they eat like a really little bit? Maybe. And I will say that, you know, maybe if you got like a very, very minimal amount of food, you know, you would still be okay enough to be able to survive. And if you weren't eating the normal shit that we eat every day in the United States or fucking wherever the fuck they are, they're in England. Nah, where the fuck are they at? I don't know. Whatever.
Big Brother?
No, these fucking dudes.
Oh, I don't fucking know.
I think they're
New York.
No, I think they live here and somewhere else. Ecuador, California, and Ecuador. I'm sure that, you know, if you're not eating that normal fucking, you know, food that we eat here, maybe you feel a little bit better. But yeah, you weren't living on nothing. Let's be honest here, dude. Like, that was not happening. You can talk about your breatharian. There's a whole thing. So basically, there's the 21-day breatharian process. In the process, for the first 7 days, nothing is consumed except for air. Then the next 7 days you eat or you have some water and diluted juice, and then for the last 7 days you have also diluted juice and water.
Fuck that shit. I need some fucking chicken. I need some fucking hard food. I need some fucking Sour Patch Kids. I need some a little bit of everything.
Goddamn it. Eat Sour Patch Kids. Okay.
Fuck. That fuck is like your fucking fruit juice.
Is that in the food groups or what?
Yes, that's a carbohydrate sugar.
Oh, okay. I don't. Yeah, that's.
I don't know
that's
where
in the
that's
bad
at.
thing.
Somewhere in there. Yeah. But yeah, fuck your fruit juice and your water for 7 days. Give me a fucking steak. Give me some fucking chicken.
Yeah.
What do you like, Ray? Give me some what? Give me some vegetarian taco salad.
I don't know. Give me a goddamn salad. Give me some
Dude, I'll tell you what. I felt good.
Give me some carbs, man. I mean,
I felt good after that taco salad you gave me.
Yeah, yeah.
It felt like clean eating.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to describe.
So I don't claim to be fucking perfect with it. And once again, I mean, I really do believe in fucking energy and all that shit. But at the same time, I got to draw the fucking line where it's like, dude, you're a human fucking being. Your fucking wife is a fucking human being. I will say that they do not force their children to practice this. They want their kids to be able to eat whatever the fuck they want to eat. But I mean,
they're just trying to go cheap, man. They're just trying to cheap out on fucking buying food all the time.
Yeah, they did actually mention that they're saving a lot of money on their car insurance and they're saving a lot of money on their food bill.
Yeah,
and they got an article in the New York Post.
Don't let them fool you.
They look super, super happy, and
I bet they look super, super hungry.
I was gonna say they actually look really fucking hungry. This kid is actually in the picture is actually looking at like a piece of food up here, I think.
I mean, goddamn, you living in the United States and fucking you can't find some goddamn food to eat, and there's fucking people starving in third world countries. Give me a break.
I mean, if anything, maybe they're still buying that food and they're donating it to third world
countries.
That
would be cool. That would make this a little more easier to stomach.
I mean, I think that oh man, no pun intended. But yeah. I mean, I think that there are a lot of problems with, you know, people starving, and it's certainly not this one fucking couple who's deciding not to eat. I think we have a fucked up system where we throw away so much goddamn food and we do not just give this food to people. But yeah, I mean, my takeaway on this is, yeah, bullshit. Bullshit. So,
yeah, these people need to be fed, and the Jerk of All Trades is here to feed you each and every week, and also on social media.
Yeah. If
you're hungry, thirsty, you're looking for something to drink, follow us on fucking Stitcher, follow us on fucking iTunes, subscribe, I'm sorry, follow us on Facebook, Like us on Facebook. I don't know all the shit. Fucking
like, review, subscribe.
review. Yes,
Please.
Uh,
Please.
at JOAT Podcast.
And share our shit too. That's the other thing too that I will say. If you love what we're doing here, tell your friends about it, but share it on your fucking social media page.
Yes, please.
Let people know, hey, we're not super attractive ladies that, you know, people are just falling at our fucking feet to listen and share our shit. So we are two handsome, witty fucking dudes that are jerks that talk about awesome fucking things, and we would love if you guys would share it.
Just
Share it with the fucking world.
Changing the world one podcast at a time. That's all.
Yes.
So we're gonna hit you with that break.
All right, guys.
And then we will be back with our top 5, my top 5 and Ray's top 5
Yes.
Black Mirror episodes. Don't go anywhere.
Nowhere. All right, guys, we are back. And for our final segment, I wanted to talk about what is one of my absolute favorite television shows. Not just television shows, just pieces of media of definitely the past 5 years and probably beyond that. And we're talking about Charlie Brooker's Black fucking Mirror. So,
hell yeah.
Yeah, this show is just absolutely amazing. It is basically like the Twilight Zone. Every episode is a little bit different. It's a different kind of world that the characters inhabit, that they create within the span of a 1 hour episode. And they take a current thing that is kind of happening with technology and they take it to an extreme, and they bring some very thought-provoking things to your mind. And I will tell you that it has been a huge influence on myself personally. And it's been a huge influence on the podcast. And a lot of the tech stuff that we talk about is stuff that I became really interested in because of this show. So I've been selling Eddie on the show for a while, and he finally decided to partake in it. And I wanted to ask Eddie, how did that go for you?
Dude, Black Mirror is the shit, son. This is for all of our Black Mirror fans. Whenever you get around to listening to this in the future, you're gonna love this shit. We go over a lot of these episodes here.
Spoilers, by the way, spoilers.
This is spoilers all day, every day.
Yeah.
Like Ray was talking about, you know, a lot of the shit that we talk about on the podcast is hinging but there is a lot of correlation between Black Mirror and the tech stuff that we talk about every week here on Jerk of All Trades. I was somewhat blown away by Black Mirror. It's one of the better TV shows I've seen. I do love the fact that it's kind of like the Twilight Zone in that it's not episodic, where if you miss an episode,
you watch whatever episode you want, right?
Yeah, you just watch whatever episode you want. You don't have to worry about missing something. Like if you miss episodes 2, 3, and 4, and you go from episode 1 to episode 5, you're like, oh, what the fuck happened? I missed those 3 episodes. No, not with Black Mirror. You can just kind of check in wherever you want. Season 3, season 2, season 1. There's 3 seasons of it.
And they're all way too short, sadly. But it's probably good for the quality level of the show.
But yeah, well, some episodes are 1.5 hours long. Some of them are 1:15 hours. So like, there are some episodes of Black Mirror where it feels like you're watching an entire
straight up movie. No doubt, no doubt.
Yeah, man. So
yeah, so
you want to kick off these 5 episodes?
Yeah,
real quick
so maybe let's do
a little homage to the Black Mirror. Is there any talk of a season 4?
Yeah, they're actually already in production.
Yes.
Actually, there were 6 episodes of the new one, and then they're doing a second one for sure.
Bring that fucking Black Mirror out.
So
God damn it.
yeah, I cannot wait. I was thinking that we do basically, I'll hit an episode, we discuss,
and then just talk about
and
it.
go to the next one. and
Let's do it.
then you do one, and then back and forth. So
You want me to kick this shit off? Or?
I'll go with my first episode. I got it pulled up here. So the first episode I want to talk about was this was from season 1. This was episode 3 of the show, and this is it's called 15 Million Merits. So yeah, what did you
remember?
What did you think of this one?
This was a very good one. This goes into my honorable mention category. Not a big fan of the room that they had to live in. Like, I would go crazy in that fucking room if
advertisements fucking galore.
Oh my
you
God,
can't do
it's
anything.
so small. It's just like, God damn it! Like,
I mean, I think that was the point of what they were trying to put across here. Like,
I would go nuts on that fucking. Now the exercise bike, I'm all about.
Yeah.
Like, to do that for currency, I'm about that shit all day, every day. I'll rock that shit.
We should probably briefly, if people haven't seen the episode,
give them like a summary, kind of.
So essentially, here's the storyline from IMDb. In a bleak, automated future Britain, Bing is one of millions who pedal exercise bikes to create energy as living. Their currency is merits, tokens with which to buy food from vending machines, and which can be increased or decreased according to which shows one watches on a giant television screen. A popular choice is Butherguts, which humiliates overweight citizens, but Bing uses his merits as entry, blah, 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 blah. So I'm not going to sit here and read the whole thing, but essentially what this thing is like, it's a commentary on like America's Got Talent, or what the fuck was that other show before that? American Idol, that type of thing. Like, these people are basically like forced to live in this building, this really, saccharine is a word that I'll use a lot with this show. They're forced to live in this fucking saccharine environment where they basically pedal on these bikes to get these credits, and their ultimate goal is to be on this shitty fucking show and
break out of
whatever, right? And things get fucking bleak and they get dark, and but it's man, this episode, I was just like, whoa, this fucking show. Like, I just couldn't believe how goddamn intense it was. So
the ending is fucking intense as fuck.
Yes.
The guy from Get Out is in this shit.
Yes, he is. He
actually talks.
He does talk. He talked and Get Out too, but yeah, but anyway, so that's my first episode. Eddie, what's your first episode?
Yeah, that was a great episode. My first episode is White Bear. White Bear threw me through a loop. This is season 2, episode number 2. It's about this woman named Victoria. She wakes up and can't remember anything about her life, and everyone she encounters refuses to communicate with her. Basically, she wakes up in this empty house. She goes downstairs. She sees a picture of her family, her boyfriend, and a little child. She goes outside, and there's just these people in the windows holding their cell phones recording her. And so
saying nothing to her, she doesn't know why.
Yeah, I mean, it's very obscure.
It's definitely it's got that Lynchian thing where they like create this environment where they don't really tell you what's going on. I do want to say too that White Bear actually was on my list. It was high on my list.
I had to take it.
I took it off my list because I thought we should probably have different episodes, which I thought was good. We only have 2 overlap episodes, which I took out of mine. This episode is just absolutely fucking mind-blowing, man.
And it's astounding because this whole episode, all right, so she gets out of the apartment or the house or whatever. She gets chased by this guy with a shotgun trying to kill her. She doesn't know what reason why, and nobody's trying to help her. They're just recording her with their cell phones. And she's running away, and finally at this gas station, she gets help from her friend and another guy. The guy with the shotgun tracks them down, kills one of the guys they were with. They keep running away, and this whole time you're rooting for this chick to get away from these people.
Yeah,
you're just like, man, I was just like, you don't know what the fuck's going on.
Right, you have no clue her backstory, anything
but
like that.
You're rooting for her to get out, and by the end of it, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but by the end of it, they expose that this woman is actually serving a sentence for murdering a fucking child, the child that she thought was hers in the beginning of the show. Turns out she's a criminal with her fucking boyfriend. They kidnapped this child, and her boyfriend murdered her, and she did nothing about it. She just stood there and watched. And you realize that she was actually the fucking bad guy from the beginning. This
show likes to do that. They like to twist you.
I love it.
We will actually the other episode that I was probably would put in my top 2, top 3 of the entire show. Has the same kind of concept in it where they don't give you the full story of something and you're rooting for someone, and by the end, like, you feel fucked up about yourself as a person because you rooted for that particular person.
Absolutely. So that's basically the epitome of Black Mirror. There's like 3 episodes that I have, or maybe even all of them, where I'm just like, they swerved me.
Hardcore swerve
They
job.
swerved me. They had me going one way, and they swerved me hard at the end. But White Bear, great episode.
Amazing episode.
If you got to start with one, maybe start with this one. It's really short.
Yes.
It's only 42 minutes, so it's not like you're investing a whole lot of time into it. This will give you a taste of what Black Mirror is all about.
Yeah. Awesome episode. For my next episode, it's from season 1. It's episode 3. It's called The Entire History of You. So, the synopsis of this guy. In the future, thanks to the grain, a chip which can be implanted on a hard drive in the brain, every single action that a person makes is recorded and may be played back. Liam, a lawyer married with a child, suspects that his wife Fi is having a fling with the brash Jonas, whom they met at a dinner party. So
Jonas got that swag.
yeah, the thing that I really liked about this episode in particular is that by the way, I just realized that my first episode,
give him a summary too.
my first episode was actually episode 2 of season 1. This is episode 3.
Okay.
So the thing that I actually read the whole synopsis of this particular episode already, but basically you have an implant in your eyeball, and anything that you do, like anything that happens in your life, can basically be played back,
Recorded.
and I think this plays into what I was talking about in the previous segment, which is any reality that you are experiencing is the reality that is inside of your brain. It is at the limitation of your brain and the limitation of your memories and the limitation of what you thought happened. And so this is very interesting in that certain things will be brought up and then a character will be like, oh, really? And then they will basically be able to like play this shit back to that other person. And it's like, what kind of and when I say amazing, it's not amazing, but what kind of huge impact would that make on the world if like someone's like, no, that's not what happened. You're like, imagine the couples fights of like, and that this episode plays that out.
Yeah. Imagine using it in court, in a court of law.
Oh, really?
You wouldn't need lawyers anymore.
Right.
You have the fucking tape.
Yeah, exactly.
All right there.
Yeah. It's, I thought this was a very, very crazy concept.
This was very good. It was on my honorable mention. It was a little bit too Lifetime movie-ish for me, but that's neither here nor there. I loved the reveal at the end where he's like, I've been digging at a rotten tooth with my tongue forever, and I finally got the rotten piece out, or like
yes. Oh,
when he unveiled the truth, which the whole time you're thinking, this guy's just crazy obsessed. It's a little too much. He needs to get over it. Just whatever. Even if his wife did fuck this guy and he's watching it back in his memory, who gives a shit, right? Like, he's hitting that shit. Who cares? But
I mean, I think being a person that's been in a long-term relationship, I think there's probably a little more than that. But
okay.
But yes,
I mean, more
yeah.
to it. But just the mere fact that he was, not verified, but I'm blanking. Vindicated. The word of the show is vindicated.
Vindication.
For the memory episode, because I was just like, damn, he was right the whole time. He was right, and he had valid points about her and him, her and the other guy the whole way through. And it was like, yeah, he's kind of right, but really, who cares? But like, eventually, it was like, damn, he brought it back. She was cheating on him with the fucking ex-boyfriend the whole fucking time. So it's just fucking crazy.
Yeah. It was an intense episode. So
very good episode.
Yeah. Eddie, what you got next?
Oh, this is probably the number 1 episode of the fucking all of Black Mirror. Shut Up and Dance.
Shut Up and Dance.
The jerk off pedophile kid.
Oh my God, man. This episode was actually so intense. I actually had to stop. Like I was on a Netflix and binge kind of thing, and not a Netflix and chill kind of thing, because I'm not watching this and then chilling.
Dude, you can't watch Netflix and chill. You got Netflix and binge.
But yeah, so I actually had to stop the show because it was actually so goddamn like impactful to me. Like, I'd never seen something cover a topic like this and do it in the way that it did.
Yeah.
That I actually had to stop the show. So Eddie, why don't you give him like a brief synopsis of the episode and what happens?
Absolutely. This is a very strong episode. There's this teenage kid. He works at a restaurant or some shit. Has his laptop taken
He's like
from
16,
his room.
17, right?
Yeah, like 16, 17, just old enough to work. Has his laptop stolen from his room by his sister. gets it back from her after she gets like a fucking virus on it from doing whatever on there. Gets his laptop back, fixes it, and figures, hey, I'm all here by myself. I as well pull it out and give a little yank and crank action.
A little spanky yanky, but
fuck it. So after he does the deed, he comes back and he has a message that says, "We saw what you did." And he starts freaking the fuck out. He gets a text message on his phone. "We saw what you did." And so now he has to do all these tasks for these people that saw what he did on his phone.
Deliver this here, do that.
They got the video. They show him the video of him doing everything. So they send him on this rat race of doing all this, deliver this shit, go here, go there, to these other people who have done the same thing.
Right. That you don't fully know what it is.
You don't know what they've done, but you know they've done something because they're getting the same text messages as this guy.
And it keeps getting more intense.
And it takes you further down and further down.
Further down the rabbit hole. Down. They gotta rob a bank.
They gotta rob a bank. I tell you what, when this kid had to fight this guy to the death, there's a couple good swerves in this episode.
Yes.
And he pulls the gun out. I thought for sure he's gonna blow his brains out. You thought he was gonna shoot this other pedophile guy, but because they had to fight to the death. And he tries to, he pulled the gun out on himself. Then he puts it up to his own fucking chin. He's just like, "Fuck this! I'm ending it right here."
Yeah, and
there's fucking no bullets.
It is crazy.
It is so good.
It is a great episode.
And to wrap it up, in the end, everybody that did all those tasks for these people that had the virus, that had the goods on them, ended up getting trolled. In the final text message, fucking they blurt it all out anyways. They fucking, the kids, ma's pissed. This fucking guy cheated on his wife. His wife finds out, she's pissed. Like the whole thing unravels. It was a giant troll job from the beginning, and Eddie the Jerk fucking loved it. The sadistic part of me fucking loved this shit.
I'll tell you what, two things I want to say. First off, Jerome Flynn, who is on Game of Thrones, he's awesome on Game of Thrones. Yes. He is the other guy in this episode, and I think he is really, really fucking good in this episode. I really, really liked him. But I think, to me, the biggest thing about this episode and the biggest swerve of this whole thing is, so you watch this whole thing, and like Eddie talked about in the other episode, where you're basically like, you're rooting for this character, right? Because it's I mean, you're just like, man, he was just jerking off. He doesn't want his he doesn't want his like classmates to see that he was jerking off. Well, guess what you find out? He's a 17-year-old kid. You find out he was a pedophile.
He was jerking off to kids.
He was jerking off to child pornography. And I thought that was such a crazy, crazy concept, because they're touching on a topic I've never seen. You see child molester or pedophile in you think some creepy old guy, and to have this young like kid who looks like a goddamn kid, and he's doing that, and they really start to touch on the mental illness of that. And it was so goddamn, it fucking just hit me like a freight train. I was just like, I cannot watch another episode of this show right now. I need to take a fucking break. So I fucking love this episode. And love is a really bad way to describe it, because that's not the feeling that I felt, but wow, what a fucking episode. This definitely would have been in probably my top 2, top 3 if I hadn't pulled it.
Powerful episode.
Very, very, very good episode. So really, really liked it a lot. So so anything else to say on that episode, Eddie?
No, man, thanks for wrapping that up for me, because I wasn't going to mention the pedophile.
Yeah, I mean, you have to.
Absolutely. That's the biggest part of it.
Yeah. So my next episode, I know Eddie doesn't love this episode as much as I do, but the season 3 premiere episode, which is Nosedive, it's actually directed by Rashida Jones from Parks and Recreation. And the thing I really liked about this one is that it took a little bit of a more black comedy element, but it still had those dark elements to it. You basically have a kind of future dystopian environment. We've talked about this actual episode in the podcast before, but in the future, like, you have social media, but it's like beyond what it is now, but it's still similar. And anyone that sees you in your world can basically rate you. And so you're always on edge. You're always on eggshells, because you have to do the right things, say the right things, take the right pictures, so you can build up your social status number. So you can do literally anything. You can't get that particular rental car you need. You can't get on first class. You can't
Express,
get that
yeah.
like discount on that house that you want to live in if you don't reach a certain threshold, a certain number. And so she basically has to, a childhood friend is getting married and wants her to be the matron or the maid of honor at her wedding, and it's because she posted this like little toy stuffed doll that they had grown up, that they had, and so she's trying to make it to her wedding, and things start going wrong, and her number starts going down, and you start seeing all these different ways in which your life is affected, and she meets some characters that no longer give a fuck about that. And I thought it was a very, very interesting commentary of the social media the social media type society that we live in. And I mean, this is nothing new either. Like the social media thing is really just like, it's the same kind of social thing that you already had going on. Like whether or not you like it, every day that you go out in the world, you are having to exist in a world and create your social status and the person that you are, what you're about. You basically have to like create this like vision of yourself and who you are each and every day. And so this takes that social aspect and this, online aspect, and it just takes it way, way fucking further. And it really shows where that can continue to go. And it's a bit fucking scary. So as much as there was comedy in it, it was a little scary too. So Nosedive, I really like this episode.
I love the nosedive of it all.
Yeah.
Because that was the part we didn't get to when we watched it at your house here. And the truck driver chick, I thought was really cool. The 1.4.
She didn't give a fuck. She gave
kept
no
it
fucks.
Real, man.
No
I love
fucks.
that shit. And it was just like, it's basically the premise on how I try to live my life. I just try to keep it as real as I can. And I try to be nice and shit like that. But, I'm not like trying to get the 5-star with every encounter. And like, it reminds me of when she had her electric car and she was trying to get a charge. And she was trying to get her street cred back up, or her rating back up, or whatever you want to call it. And the guy at the desk, she rates the guy a 5 because she rates everybody a 5 because she loves to.
Right. She's trying to get her cred up.
Yeah, she's trying to get that reciprocated 5-star rating back. And he gives her a 2. And she's like, a 2? Really? Like, why? And he's just like, it wasn't a meaningful interaction. Yeah. And it's like, man, why should I have to give you a 5 just because you're fake and fraudulent? Doesn't mean I have to be fake and fraudulent too.
Yeah, that's the thing, though, is like, so people see through shit, So, all right, so I live my life and I try to really, really be very positive and happy and like give off a good vibe. But here's the thing, though. You can't fake that shit. Like, you can't just go out there and just fucking pretend. And I know, the fake it till you make it thing. And, that works to an extent, but you really have to truly believe it. You really have to truly like be happy, positive, and really truly like give off good fucking vibes to people, or people are going to pick up on that because they're not fucking stupid. You can't just pretend to be fucking nice to them and think that, it's going to work. So, it's a delicate balance, and it's something that I haven't perfected, and
I love the idea.
Not many people have, but
I love the idea of the show. I'm just not a big fan of female leads. It's hard for me to lose my mind in a show like this. Like, I need a male lead, preferably. But it was a good show. I like the premise of it, and I thought it was definitely pretty good.
Yeah, I really, really liked this episode. So I know you didn't like it as much as I did, but I was a big fan.
Terrible.
It was a big. I was a big fan of this. So Eddie, why don't you hit them with your next episode? What's next on your
absolutely
next on your list?
You know what, man? I might need your help with this one.
Yes,
because this one has 3 stories wrapped up in one. This one is White Christmas. This may be. It's hard to say because there's so many good episodes, but this may be my favorite of them all. Let me just go back here. White Christmas is 3 interconnected tales of technology run amok during the Christmas season, are told by 2 men at a remote outpost in a frozen wilderness. Basically, this show is about a guy who committed murder. He murdered an old man and a young child because his girlfriend at the time got pregnant by another man, and she blocked him. Because in this episode, you can block somebody and you can't hear them or see them. They just become this shadowy figure.
Oh, yeah.
And you can't hear anything or understand anything. And so for the longest time, this guy was spying on the girl. or his ex-girlfriend, and thought that was watching his kid grow up, and he couldn't see the kid either, because when you're blocked by somebody, you're blocked
Oh man,
through
yeah.
the courts too. So he couldn't see the child either. So he didn't know that the child wasn't his until his girlfriend died in a terrorist attack. The block becomes undone because when there's a death, the block goes away. And then he one Christmas Eve, because he made it an annual thing on Christmas Eve to check out the kid. He goes to see the kid, and is a fucking Asian kid, and this is a white guy, and the kid is Asian. And so earlier in the episode, or this was more like a movie, but
Yeah, this was actually this was actually not. I don't know if you knew this, and maybe you do, but this actually was not a part of the normal season. This was basically like a cinematic movie that they put out around Christmas time on Channel 4.
oh no kidding.
This was not a. So actually, when this was on Netflix, this was initially not on Netflix either. So you had
wow.
season 1, season 2. This was not on there. I actually had to download this separately. My friend downloaded it. I've given up at this
Allegedly.
point. I downloaded it, but so it was separate. I will tell you that I watched this episode. This is one that is not really direct to my brain. As you talked about it, I was like, "Whoa!" I remember some of the shit with the egg and stuff, and when he's being seen again later on. But yeah, this is a really good episode. I really like John Hamm. Like he's fucking really, really like he's good in everything.
Fantastic.
But yeah, he's really, really, really good in this. This would not be one of my favorite episodes, but I did like it a lot. So,
Dude, if you got an hour to kill, hour 20 to kill, this is your fucking
I mean, you don't even have to
episode
kill
right
it. Like, watch something that's going to fucking like.
here. Oh, I know. This is going to be fucking. It is so good. There's a lot of technology in this episode. They touch on implanting consciousness into your brain, getting it acclimated to your body, and then removing it and putting it inside of an egg, and then having it like do work for you. It's kind of crazy because it puts you in the eyes of the implant, and you think that you're an actual person, but you get removed from the body and you're stuck in the cell of like an egg, and you're stuck doing these menial tasks that like you want to experience life like you did before, but you don't realize that you were just a fucking implant the whole entire time.
Scratch. Sounds a little bit maybe like what might be possibly happening right now. Elon Musk, we know your fucking game. We know what's up.
Could be.
But yeah, this is a good episode, and I definitely liked it.
Yeah, White Christmas, man. Go check it out. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's too long to describe, but it's so good.
Yeah, and I think we don't want to spend too much time like ruining the entire episodes, because if you haven't seen it, you need to see it. But yeah, I will. I'll go to my next episode. This is my second favorite episode in the entire series. I fucking love this episode. This is one of the episodes when I tell people about the show, this is one of the episodes I describe to them, and I try to not tell them too much, but man, this fucking episode just absolutely fucking crushed me. And it's called Be Right Back. And this is actually this is season 2. This is the premiere of season 2. It has got I'm gonna try to not butcher his name. Domhnall Gleeson, who was actually in a really awesome movie called Ex Machina, in which it actually had
I still need to see that.
A very similar concept to this. He's an Irish actor, but Be Right Back is, whoa, what a fucking episode. You got a couple, and they're fucking obviously very, very in love, and her boyfriend's driving one night, and he's supposed to be over, and then he's just not there, and she's wondering what happens, and
it's kind of weird too, because he's kind of a degenerate. Like he's not the most likable guy.
He's not the most likable person. He's definitely flawed, but clearly,
But she loves him.
Right.
She's head over heels in love with him.
She loves him despite all that, and the police come to her door and tell her that he has died. He died in a car wreck. I'll be honest, like I fucking got chills even fucking talking about it. So she's obviously fucking distraught. She lost the fucking love of her life. What the fuck is she gonna do? And she's got a friend who basically messages her, sends her an email and says, "Hey, there's this new fucking thing where you can talk to this person via like a messenger app." And so, at first she rejects it. She's fucking depressed. She doesn't want to fucking do it. But eventually she's just like, she needs something to try to be able to get over the pain and the sorrow of him dying. And so she agrees to it. And so she starts talking to him. And what they basically do is they take all of the information, they aggregate everything that person has ever put online, and then they create this like image of that person. And then that person talks, jokes, does all the things that the person that you knew and loved did in text message form or message form or whatever. And
Yeah,
so
like a messenger, like
right.
the chat bot.
Right. Very much like, yeah, like the chat box. And so she, she's doing that. And then she gets a message, hey, we have like the next step of this in which you can now talk to this person. So we take all the video and everything of that person online. And now we capture their voice and we capture their cadence and the things that you knew and loved about them and actually like verbalizing things with them. And then you can actually talk to them on the phone. And like when she first talks to him on the phone, like she's just like really, really broken up. And like it's really tough, but you can see like, how much enjoyment she's getting out of it, but there's an apprehension as well. And then that keeps going further and further. And eventually, hey, there's this next step where you can basically get a fucking like robotic AI version of that person delivered to your fucking door. And so she does that too. And then it really, really gets into the fucking meat and potatoes. Not meat for me, but it really gets into the, she starts to see the things about this that are not who she knew it was. And it's really, really starts to upset her. And it's not just that he's a robot, but there's these like nuances and things that make you a human being and that make you who you are. And those things are very, very glaringly not there in him. Yeah. And she really like, it starts to take this like darker turn. And I think it makes this really, really interesting commentary on what is you? Who are you? Like what makes you a human being? Is it the things you say? Is it the things inside of your head? Like what exactly is it? Can we just take all that information that you put online and create a version of you? And I mean, I think at this point we can't. But this episode just whoa.
Yeah, this was a pretty crazy one. I didn't love it, didn't hate it. It had a female lead, so I couldn't relate to
Eddie
it too
is
much.
a misogynist, God damn it.
I'm sorry. You got your female leads. I need to, it's hard for me to relate. I'm a jock. I'm a guy. It's just like, maybe if this had been about a guy and his girlfriend died, it would really tugged at my heartstrings a little more, but it just didn't do it for me.
No, you didn't not like this episode?
I didn't say I didn't like it. I just said I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. It's just, it was good. Because there's so many good episodes of Black Mirror that like even the average episodes that aren't in my top 5 or whatever are still pretty good. Like based on a lot of other television shows. Fucking, what was the name of that one?
That was Be Right Back.
Be Right Back is very good. It's just when you compare it to all the other ones.
Here's the problem too. So I watched the show from the beginning. So I started with the first episode and I went straight through. So like rather than comparing this to later episodes, like this was
early for you.
Right. So this was like the 3rd episode I ever saw.
This was one of the last ones I watched.
Right. This was like this really hit on some stuff that I didn't expect a television show to be hitting on. And so,
I was able to cherry pick my episodes. And this was one of the last ones that I saw.
Yeah. Yeah. I really like this episode. I think it's interesting that to watch a show like this and I really expected our list to be the same and we've actually got quite a different list.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. What you got next, Eddie?
Mine is Men Against Fire. After his first battle with an elusive enemy, a soldier begins experiencing unfamiliar sensations and a strange technical glitch. Basically, this is a military combat fucking episode. I fucking loved it. It's about these troops.
One of my least favorite episodes of the entire series, by the way.
Yeah, it's about these troops.
Totally got it. Didn't enjoy it that
probably
much.
Overseas. They're protecting the land against something called roaches. These roaches have infested the land, and the troops are there to squash the roaches, for lack of a better term. And in the beginning of the movie, they're raiding the house. And, there's 3 roaches inside. They didn't know that until obviously they got upstairs. But the male lead in this a black actor goes upstairs, uncovers 3 roaches, which are 3 people, but like their faces all like they're human beings, but they don't look like human beings in their face. Shoots one of them in the head. The female gets away, and then another male roach he gets into a fight with. Eventually ends up on top of him and stabs him numerous times with his weapon, his knife.
That was pretty intense,
That
man.
was
Especially when you
fucking-
see later, when you see it later, when you get the reveal later.
So early on, you're rooting for the guy. You're like, yeah, kill that fucking crazy motherfucking looking motherfucking
Right,
because
'cause
kill that motherfucker.
Yeah.
And then as it goes along, so then he finds this little thing. It's like the Men in Black thing where they shine the light in your eye.
Here comes the man in black.
So he picks up this thing, looks at it, and it shines a light in his eye. And all of a sudden, he's experiencing like all these glitches and stuff in the system. And it's very technological. You got to watch it. But basically, at the end of it, it comes to show that like these roaches aren't actually roaches. They're just programmed to be roaches to the fucking troops. And that he's actually killing fucking regular people.
And why is he doing?
You feel horrible about it because in the beginning you're like, yeah, kill these motherfuckers, and then it's like, no, they're actually regular people.
Right. And why? And I think the big thing to me in this episode, and I mean, I think it's pretty apparent, is that this is a commentary on our wars that we engage in.
Sure.
Especially here, where it's like we create this false vision of like, let's take Muslims, for example. Like, they're all horrible, evil terrorists who only want to see you, the white American, dead. Like, their God is better than your God, but your God's actually better than their God. And so they create this like false vision to you because you don't personally see them. They create this vision of them to you. And I think we do that to our military too. We pump them up and we make them think a certain thing. And I mean, when you see these people come back from war, and they, have post-traumatic stress, and they, the suicide rate of people who have been engaged in military combat like that, because I don't care what you think about something, humans are not bred to murder other humans and come back from that. And this episode touches on that quite a bit, and it does it in a different way where they make them look more like monsters. But I think that's really something that just happens, generally speaking. And so I really liked that aspect of it. I will say that I saw that coming a little bit too much in this episode.
It dragged on in the middle.
And I'm not
the beginning was very good and the ending was very good, but the middle just dragged. Dragged and dragged. That's my only complaint about this episode.
Yeah. So, but I did like the episode. Once again, a mediocre episode of Black Mirror, or at least a mediocre episode in my opinion. Because I like different.
Than a lot of other TV shows.
It's better than every goddamn show, pretty much almost ever out there. So it's still an awesome episode. A lot of thought-provoking stuff.
A lot of technology. Thought-provoking and technology stuff.
Yes, that's Black Mirror in a fucking nutshell, man. Thought-provoking tech.
Yeah, when you're done watching this shit, you sit back and you think about it.
Right. You don't just it's not just like you watch like fucking random, like you watch fucking 5 episodes of Home Improvement or something like.
Or your favorite superhero movie.
Right.
Or,
this is
superhero TV show.
This is to me like, if I'm going to stare at a fucking glowing box, which Bill Hicks, I believe, said that it's like spraying black spray paint over your third eye. At least I'm going to watch something that's going to be thought provoking, that's going to challenge me. It's going to challenge my worldview. It's going to challenge what I think to be the truth in the world. Maybe it's going to reinforce it sometimes, but maybe it's going to make me look at things a little bit differently.
About Black Mirror. Yeah. It's like fucking, they're not afraid to tackle terrorism. They're not afraid to tackle fucking pedophilia.
Children being pedophiles. What the fuck?
They're not afraid to tackle the fucking taboo shit that
the hard shit, man.
American television won't let you watch.
Right. Absolutely. I'll tell you, there's a lot of good British TV shows out there. And
it's not just doing it just to do it for like just shock value.
It's not. No.
It's doing it to fucking make you think about something.
It puts this shit into the public consciousness, It puts these things out there and it makes people talk. We're talking about something that we wouldn't have been talking about otherwise. And that to me is what entertainment, what cinema. This is the reason why I became such a fan of cinema and good television, is because, hey, sometimes you want to just fucking blow some fucking time in Netflix and binge, or Netflix and chill. But sometimes, and for me, a lot of the fucking time, I talked about the Holy Mountain fucking change. We have a goddamn movie that literally changed my life, changed my whole entire worldview enough that I dedicated one of my fucking half of my arm to that particular movie because it really had that much of an impact on me. And that to me is like what I'm looking for, and anything less would be uncivilized. And Black Mirror is definitely motherfucking civilized. It's from fucking
I
England.
can't wait
so,
till the next episode.
yeah, yeah. So, all right. Do you have one episode after me? And then I have one, you have one,
How are
right?
we looking on time? Are we doing all right?
No, we're fine. We're fine.
Cool.
We're fine.
Let's hit him with that last
All
one.
right. So, my last episode is season 3, episode 4, San Junipero.
Woo.
God damn. I cannot even put into words how much I loved this episode. I will tell you that watching this episode, as I was watching the earlier part, so I was born in the early 80s, so I grew up on 80s music. I am a big fan of that. I grew up on 90s music too, so we had that going on as well. You basically, in this episode, you have character that is basically like traveling through these, like, you know, she keeps going back to this club over and over again in the 80s, and then she meets a girl, and then she's trying to find her again.
Fine, black chick.
And then
and at midnight it all ends.
Right. And then she goes back, and then like it's a different era. Now it's the 90s, and it keeps changing, and she's trying to figure it out.
She can't find her friend. Her friend is gone.
Right. It's once again, they're creating this world. You don't understand what's happening. I remember watching this episode for the first time, and I was like I didn't like the beginning part. I didn't love it. Like, I liked it, but I was like, what the fuck? Where are they going? And as they went deeper and deeper into this thing, I'm going to tell you, by the end of this episode, first things first, like, this episode would have worked with a guy and a girl. Absolutely.
Oh, sure.
But I think that it worked even better in the environment that we live in now with 2 women. Like, I thought having a love interest that's another woman,
that was a nice touch.
I think that it once again was progressive. It changed things. It showed that love doesn't understand gender. Like, didn't fucking matter. Like, they just loved each other, and she fucking wanted to find her again. And so it just progressed further and further. And then you start to get more information about this and like what is really going on. And I will tell you, by the end of this episode, like, Ray the Jerk, I give off a tough vibe if you look at me, but I was getting a little choked up. I was getting a little teared up by the end of this fucking episode, and I thought the ending sequence with the perfectly placed "Heaven Is a Place on Earth" music was just unbelievable. Basically, the reveal in this episode is that they're basically in this like computer generated purgatory, essentially, that they can basically live on forever. And
the reason why they were only there till midnight and stuff is because there were these elderly women. One of them couldn't speak or talk, and she was bedridden, and she was about to die anyways, but they were able to put her into this alternate reality in the cloud. And the other woman, her love interest, was in a retirement home, and she was actually able to go to the cloud, or go to the alternate universe. I don't know how to describe
Purgatory?
it. San Junipero.
San Junipero, the Purgatory computer world thing.
They're actually 2 really, really old chicks.
Yes. One of which is dying. Basically
but
dying.
When you cross over to San Junipero, you can cross over when you actually die forever into San Junipero.
You have the choice.
So they actually ended up getting married and lived in San Junipero after they died on Earth, I suppose.
Yeah, when she came to come visit her, like, in the fucking hospital, like, man,
that was crazy.
Like, that was the moment there. Like, that was fucking super impactful for me. The ending with the fucking like, living forever in the cloud. Eddie and I talked about this earlier, and I thought that this was really crazy. You live in the cloud, and you think of the traditional idea of heaven, and being in the clouds, and what if living on the cloud, like, what if who you are being put into a digital form and fucking numbers on a fucking computer in the cloud, like, what if that is heaven? Like, that's just absolutely fucking mind-blowing to me. And that's what this show does, is like, it puts these thoughts inside of your head, just thought-provoking shit. So
when I first started watching San Junipero, I thought they were because they didn't explain anything. I thought it was like The Sims. Like, these were like, it was going to be like The Sims or something. but it totally went in a different direction.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, I think it was better for it.
Yeah, definitely not expected. So
sweet. Well, my last one here is Hated in the Nation. This is the longest episode of all the Black Mirror episodes, but I did enjoy it. I actually watched this last night. The death of a journalist at the center of a social media firestorm leads a veteran detective and her tech-savvy apprentice to a chilling discovery. So this is over there in England. They got these robot killer bees, for lack of a better term. They're just robot bees, and they're used to pollinate the flowers because all the cell phones have killed
by the way,
off
all the bees are being killed off right now.
Yeah, so
in real life.
I know. But they invented these robot bees. That's why I like this. It could be an actual thing, not too distant future. But there's a guy in the CIA or an ex-CIA member that hacked into these bees because these bees are controlled by computer, obviously, if they're robot bees. Was able to hack into the bees, and he uses social media to decide who he kills with the bees. So if you hashtag death2 and then the name of the person, by 5 o'clock that day or whenever day it is, whoever gets the most votes, he uses the bees to kill them.
Yeah, that was crazy, dude.
Yeah, so the bees go in through your ear or through your eyes or through your mouth, and they go into the portion of your brain that controls pain, and it's the most painful way to die. There is no way to die that is worse than this. It like enters through the part of your brain that controls the pain, and you just feel like killing yourself until you can't take it anymore.
Until you do, yeah.
So, so eventually, at first, they thought it was just one bee that he was controlling. Actually, he can control all of the fucking bees. And the grand reveal of this episode, which is more like a movie.
Yeah, that was the season finale of season 3.
Yes, is that everybody that participated in the Death2 hashtag ended up dying. Because... Yes. What was he talking about, Ray? Like consequences and stuff like that? Like, you're a victim of your own consequences and stuff?
Yeah, it's I mean, it's funny that's like karma.
Yes,
karma. I think that this is very interesting because the people, especially online, can be very passive in doing really fucking hateful things that they would not do in the real world. Like they would not react, talk to, say the things that they say to people in the real world that they do online. And so this hit those consequences and it hit that karma very directly at them for doing those things. And so, yeah, fucking crazy, man.
You know what? I didn't want to like this episode, but it just won me over.
Yeah.
At the end there. So
that's a big thing with this show too, is that so every episode they have to create this world and then they basically have to like get you to invest in the characters, what's happening.
Sure, you gotta feel some type of way.
And then, it's over. And so it's a really, really daunting task. And that's why I really like San Junipero and why it's my favorite episode is because, I wasn't immediately loving this episode. And by the end, it got me so invested that I was crying like a little baby back bitch. So, I mean, that to me is that is storytelling, that you can make me forget the fact that I'm watching something that's not real. And within the span of an hour, you can take me from never ever seeing these characters to by the end, I'm so invested in them that I'm a little weepy fucking baby. So that is the power of this fucking show. It's a fucking amazing show, and if you have not seen it, you need to fucking watch it. Because
President Eddie the Jerk demands you watch fucking
Black Mirror. When Eddie the Jerk is president, he will force you to watch Black Mirror.
And that'll be an episode of Black Mirror in and of itself, right?
Yes.
The president forcing you to watch a specific television
and then
show.
They make you fuck a pig.
Yeah. That didn't make it on my list.
Eddie the Jerk has to fuck a pig, so yeah.
Yeah, so. They got those organs.
Yeah, so... Cool. I think that wraps up Black Mirror. So
absolutely, so great fucking TV.
show. How do we end the show?
With that goddamn universal call out that Alex Jones can't figure out yet.
Yeah. So
we had puppets last week,
which fucking delivered
home run on the puppets.
So how many? Are
we going to use the same website again, or did you find a different one?
Well, we'll keep this one for one more week.
All right.
So how many topics do you want to pick this week?
Let's do 10.
Let's do 10.
Because we might get some repeats.
10 was good last time.
Yeah. I'm nervous.
All right. You ready?
Absolutely.
cotton, bread, banana, postcards, mummies, oil, motherhood, tobacco, turtles, meteorology.
Fuck. No repeats.
No repeats.
Let's see. What was the one after banana?
After banana was postcards.
Postcards. That ain't too bad, right?
I've got what I think I would like.
What's that?
I like turtles. I had a synchronicity moment with turtles recently where I was going to set up my backyard, and I was driving with a friend of mine, and we saw a turtle on the side of the road, and so we had to stop and we had to pick up the turtle. I saw the turtle and I was like, I like turtles. There's a famous internet video of this kid dressed up like a zombie, and they interview him on the local news. He's like, hey, you're a zombie, blah, 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 whatever, zombie. And what do you have to say about that? And he's like, I like turtles. And so anyway, so I said that, whatever. And then I had gone to my work to, I had rented a machine to cut down the sod, and I got there and there was a girl, and on her apron, you can draw on your apron, and she had a turtle drawn on it, and it said, I like turtles on her apron. And I just had to laugh. So anyway, that's why I picked turtles. So.
Ray is getting that synchronicity all day, every day.
All day, every day. So
turtles, let's do the damn thing.
Motherfucking turtles.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is a great show.
Any kind of turtles, we want it. So yeah.
The new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles will be great.
Yes. So with that being said, Jerk of All Trades podcast, episode number 14 is in the fucking books.
Love you guys.
We fucking love you guys. We are out, and before we leave, I have to say, Eddie, give me back my goddamn fidget spinner.
No!
Give me my fidget spinner,
Oh,
goddamn
damn
it. Give it to me. Hold on, we're going out on a spin.